Hi, everybody. It's Plastic EP here, and we're ready for our interview with Peter Chakos. He's a television producer, editor, and we're going to have some fun, aren't we, Peter?
Sure we are.
There we go. Well, here's our theme song. Hey, bananas, we think you're groovy. Here we go.
Hey, bananas, we think you're groovy. Hey, bananas, we want your movie. Yeah. Driving June buggies everywhere. Just going crazy without a care.
All right, Peter, we're back with a black screen. How's things happening out there?
Good. Everything's great out here. It's hot in California.
Fantastic. Now, tell me about the Big Bang Theory. How did you get involved with that? You started off coming up in Cheers, and then you ended up editing an episode of Big Bang Theory. Let's go through that.
Okay. Well, after I left Cheers, my career really kicked off, and I started an association with a director named Jim Burrows, and I was essentially doing all of his pilots. And The Big Bang Theory was one of those pilots. We actually did it twice because the first time we did it, it wasn't as good as it could be, and didn't get picked up. But the network had faith in Jim Parsons and Johnny Galecki and their chemistry, and asked everyone to do it again. So we did, and that time it turned into a huge success. I think a bigger success than anyone ever imagined.
Well, I mean, it's the characters, isn't it? I mean, two physicists, and you got Penny that moves in next door. So you've basically got a formula for success there. Something a bit out of the ordinary, you'd say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did you feel when that show first started? Like, did everyone sort of just come together and it came naturally?
Yeah, it was a fairly straight ahead pilot. And it went, from there. The first season on any show is always tough. You're trying to figure out the dynamics and the characters and how you want people to be, how to play their characters, and they're figuring it out too. And at some point, it all just starts to mesh, and it kind of did for them too. The first 5 or 6 episodes are never, the best of most series, and it just grows and grows and becomes better and better. And I think that's what the show did for a long time, just kept getting better and better.
So you've been with the show 13 years, is that right?
12. We did 12
well, I mean,
seasons.
13, 12 years. That's a long time for a series, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of episodes.
So you've done like 250 episodes approximately, yeah?
Yeah, I think 270 something. We have the most episodes, I believe, of any sitcom, and we actually beat Cheers, which had the old record. So
unbelievable. Married with Children.
Yeah.
Al Bundy is a character. I love Al Bundy. Believe it or not, my sense of humor, that's the closest character on TV that my sense of humor is.
All right.
I can't believe it when you're actually thinking the way a TV character thinks. And I know a lot of people that think the same. I was speaking to someone who said that his family is like Everyone Loves Raymond. He can't watch it because it's too close to his family.
Right. You kind of look like Ed Bundy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, obviously, I can't see you, Peter. I've seen the photo, so I know what you do look like.
No one wants to see me.
Photo up of you. It doesn't matter. You're not going to have my own TV show. I reckon it'll be funny.
Yep.
Just be me. Anyway, you write songs as well, don't you?
Yeah, I have. Sure. Yep. I've done that. I did that in my younger years. I was a sort of a musician, never a great one, but we had some pretty good songs.
You got a fantastic voice for a radio show. Seriously.
Really? All right.
Yeah, I'm not joking now. Did you see the little video I sent of you of me and my wife in Vegas? Did you actually see that?
I did.
How funny was that? We're near the pool. We're doing a video for a song called Let's Buy Some Bubble Gum, and somebody just jumps out of nowhere and comes into the video.
Yep.
I thought that was hilarious. I actually loved it.
That's really funny.
My wife lost it. She didn't like that.
She didn't like it, huh?
No, she didn't like someone taking her limelight while she's singing.
Right.
It was like, go away, shoo, go. Now, getting back to the show, with the characters, I'm just saying, as friends, obviously you're friends with all the characters off the set. I mean, you know them. But
Sure.
what character do you align yourself with closest from that show, Big Bang Theory?
Wow, that's a good question. I'd have to say probably Leonard.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when it came to the last episode, that was was that the biggest ratings one because it was over?
No, I don't think it was actually. I think still our all-time biggest ratings one was the one where the boys are out in the desert in their Star Trek costumes. They were on their way to a Comic-Con sort of thing, and they stop in the desert to take pictures, and then they kind of get stuck there.
And also, what was it like winning an Emmy Award in 2007 for outstanding multi-camera picture editing for a comedy series? You must have got a buzz out of that.
It actually my first, I was nominated for many, but I didn't win my first one, I think, until 2014.
Right. So in 2007, did you win one?
No. The first
Okay.
one I didn't win until 2014, and I won 4 years in a row. But
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
At least
that
you
was
got that one wrong, so it makes it even more funny when it comes to doing your homework.
But it took a long time to for me to actually win an Emmy, because I started getting nominated in 1992, so it took me a really long time to take home the award.
So where's the Emmy Award now? Do you put it on the fridge, or do you put it on the mantelpiece of your parents got it?
No, all four of them are on top of my bedroom dresser.
That's unbelievable, Peter.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty cool.
I just want to ask, have you got plans now for another series of some different type of project?
I'm working on a show right now called Bob Hart's Abishola, which is also a Chuck Lorre production, and that show started last year. It's doing pretty good, and we will probably go back into production in about a month. We're greatly delayed because of COVID, and then I'm starting simultaneously. I'm doing another show called Be Positive. So I'll have two shows coming out of the Chuck Lorre stable, and I'll be working on both of them. And
That's great. What's normally a season with a TV show? Do you start let's say in March and finish in September?
No.
What's a normal year for you on one show?
A normal year for us is to start production in either very late July, early August, and we usually wrap things up by the end of April. But the shows continue to air usually through May. At least the second or third week of May, and then we go on a hiatus, and everybody's off until August again, except the writers come back about a month earlier to start writing new scripts. So the writers have been back to work, so I'm assuming they're going to be pretty far ahead of all of us, but their production won't start for a while this year, so we're waiting to see all that.
Now, I've got a friend of yours, George Trillinger. He wants to send you all the best.
Ah, all right.
He's great. George. He does Buddy Holly too.
Yeah.
One of the best Buddy Holly impersonators you can find out there.
Yeah, George and I go way back. He was actually a member of my very first band called Revolver. So yeah.
Well, how small is that? Because he's one of my best friends. So look at that. When you come to Australia, we'll be able to put the voice to the face.
Oh, that's hilarious. You want to see my face, right?
Well, why don't you come on?
Well, let me see. I wasn't planning on being on
Doesn't
screen,
matter, Peter.
But I don't even
This
have
way.
the camera. I don't even have the camera right.
This way, on this side. There you are.
Yeah, I gotta move everything over.
Doesn't matter. Just come up a bit. That's a surprise. You're looking great.
I don't think so. But I would have shaved,
Doesn't matter. I'm dressed in the tuxedo. Now look at that. We got a show.
Okay, so
Welcome,
now you can
Peter. Seriously, welcome.
So there
I look
we are.
all right, don't I? I usually dress up for VIPs.
You do.
Are you surprised? Or did you think I was going to come out in shorts, singlets, and a t-shirt, and some sunscreen?
I didn't expect the tuxedo, so no.
Well, Peter,
I
I get very special VIPs, and I have to dress up. So I thought for you, you're worth it. Plus, there's so many people love the Big Bang Theory. You got no idea. They go out and buy the box sets. They're crazy. They've got nothing to do but just watch the show.
No, that's for sure.
Tell me something that you like doing outside when you're doing TV series.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
What do you like doing in your spare time?
In my spare time, I still play a little bit of music. Play guitar and piano. Not as much as I'd like to, but I still do that. I ride bikes this summer, but it's been a kind of a boring summer. I really like to travel, and that hasn't been a total option this year. So I just haven't had the ability to do that much.
Are you in your home studio now, Pete, as we speak?
Yeah, this is where I edit and play music as well.
How fantastic is that?
Yeah, it's great. It's fun.
And are you mainly, I'm saying now, Los Angeles, the situation, you're mainly at home, yeah?
This year I will be mainly at home. Usually I go into Warner Brothers and work, but I usually do 2 days at home. Now it looks like I'll be doing 4 or 5 days at home.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, you want to come to Australia, don't you? Is that like on your bucket list?
It is on the bucket list, both Australia and New Zealand. And my kids and I are even considering the possibility of moving to Australia, but I don't know how realistic that is yet.
Well, I think it's a good thing. You can always talk to me. I'm born here from Greek parents, right?
Right.
And here in Melbourne, it's great. You don't want to go to Sydney. It's crazy. But here in Melbourne, you'd love it. We got the best food, the best everything. It's like, I can't describe it to you. Plus, we've got a winery about an hour outside of Melbourne. It's called the Yarra Valley. I want you to look it up.
All right.
I'll be able to tell you a lot of good things about Melbourne, but I love it. We got the best of everything. We may be going now into lockdown for another 12 months. So I don't want to get into that. But look, it's like we're here and we got curfew from 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. We're not allowed out.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
But put it this way, I bet you there's a lot of people watching Big Bang Theory and Cheers.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? They're watching TV. They're on the internet. They're watching you and me.
They are. It's funny because they just started the HBO Max, and apparently the Big Bang Theory is one of the highest watched programs on that. And
I just want to ask you, just from reading, Netflix is doing all right. They spend a lot of money, Netflix, for shows.
Right. They did.
Are you aware of that? Like, who's your opposition now with making TV shows?
Everybody's the opposition now, but network TV still has the biggest audience, even though it may be an older skewing audience. The younger the people are, the less they watch traditional television. So that's really been the issue. And it's been eroding since cable even started. The more choices you have, the less people will congregate in one spot. So, what was a hit in 1992, it would have, I'm going to say it the other way. What is a hit now would have been canceled like after 3 weeks in 1992.
What do you think of these reality shows where they go in the middle of the jungle and they've got no clothes and they just go around whatever's happening?
That one's a bit crazy, but I like some reality shows, but I don't really watch too many of them. The only one I've ever gotten hooked on was Survivor. Which
any favorite Australian TV shows?
Say that again. Australian? No.
No favorite Australian. What about Skippy? Do you remember Skippy? Bush Kangaroo?
No, I never saw that.
From the 60s. Go on YouTube. That was one of our biggest international successes in the 60s.
Oh, I don't even know about that. So
Skippy, the bush kangaroo. Never seen that.
No.
That's great. I can enlighten you. And the great thing about it was they had 2 or 3 kangaroos and they made the kangaroo do things. Like the kangaroo could open the door. Kangaroo could play the piano. And they showed 2 paws, and those 2 paws could do anything.
That's pretty funny.
It is, but you got to watch it in the 60s.
No,
now, do you like I'm glad you're thinking about coming to Australia because, as I said, I'll give you an example. There's a guy here. He's got 3-4 pizza shops. He's gone to Italy and won the award for the best pizza in the world.
Really?
So how great is that? I don't have to go to Italy.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I'm trying to look at it this way. Oh, I'll picture a TV show now, right? I'll make it up. I've got the kind of marriage where my wife is great. You've heard that song, Looking for Clues? Robert Palmer, have you heard that song, Looking for Clues?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the great thing is I'm actually living like a TV show every day because my wife only gives me a fifth of the facts. There's another 4/5 missing.
I understand that.
And then I was talking to someone else and they said their wife talks to them but walks off as she's talking. So
Right.
that makes it even harder to get the facts. Like there's so many funny things out there, even yourself. Are you observing life to get ideas all the time?
Well, I don't create shows, so not
Okay.
really. Yeah. You know, I'm brought on after the show's created. That's the job of writers and showrunners and such. They have the genius to do that. I don't possess that.
But when you're editing, do you laugh while you edit? Do you look at the
Sure.
scene and go, this is funny? You know
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
away this is a winner.
There are some, yeah, absolutely. There are some things that I will actually laugh out loud at every time I see it. And that means it's really funny. So, because, you know, after you've seen something 6 times, if it still makes you laugh, it's
No, but
it's
that's
pretty
great. But
remarkable.
Peter, again, I've got to say, if I close my eyes and I just listen to your voice,
Mhm.
I think I'm listening to like a top radio man,
Really?
like Howard Stern. You know what I mean? The voice is actually brilliant.
Wow. Well, thank you. Thank you. I never thought of my voice as brilliant, but
Well, I think of it because, I mean, I've got an Australian accent. You know, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
me. And
Yeah.
the great thing is I like to be loud because I'm from Greek parents, right?
Right. Me too.
So we're born loud.
Yes.
I've got to say, your background's Greek, of course, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's it. We're proud Greeks
We
from
are.
our parents.
That's right.
We've got a street here called Lonsdale Street.
Uh-huh.
That's a Greek street in the middle of Melbourne. And we've also got a suburb called Oakley, where it's like going back in Greece and there's streets, and the whole suburb has got this meeting place of how many taverns, how many coffee shops. You've heard of Oakley, have you?
No, but I'm going to look it up now because that sounds like Greece for sure.
So what you
Taverns
do is
and
look up
coffee shops.
Oakley, but when you come to Melbourne, look me up and you don't have to worry. We'll
All
be
right.
going to Oakley. You'd love it.
All right, sounds good.
Now, Peter, is there anything else you want to say to up-and-coming people doing editing? Any advice if they're looking on your career path?
Well, you know, the advice I give to all young people who come to, you know, I meet with a lot of college students and such over the years, and the advice I really have is to focus on what you want, because it took me a while to figure that out. And a lot of people just come in and they say, I want to work in TV, but they don't really know what they want to do. So if you get a job on a show as a runner or a PA, your entry level position, it's try to find out real quickly what you want to do, because you can float around for a long time saying, oh, I'll do any of those jobs, but it's not going to get you anywhere. You've got to figure out what your real goals are and what you feel are the steps that you need to take to get there. So I always encourage people to focus on one thing at a time, because that will get you further than being scattered, for certain.
Now, Peter, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite Big Bang episode, if you can tell me?
Wow, there's so many. My son's always asked me, what's your favorite this, what's your favorite that? And outside of the Beatles being my favorite band, I don't really have favorites. I mean, there are so many good episodes of The Big Bang Theory. I couldn't even begin.
Top three?
Probably the one that I first won the Emmy for may hold a special place. And, that was the one where they imagined what their lives would be like without Sheldon. And it was like a flashback kind of Christmassy episode. It was pretty good.
And when it comes to music, outside of work, what sort of music do you like?
Definitely listen to, my favorites are the Beatles and Tom Petty, and I like Joe Walsh. I like the Eagles. Those have always been my favorite kinds of bands. And then on the harder side, I mean, you got to love Led Zeppelin and AC/DC. Those are.
That's
those
right.
are
Well, I'm just saying you got a fantastic taste of music. Myself, I'm of a similar vein. I grew up with the Monkees. Believe it or not, I was too young for the Beatles in 1964 when they came here to Melbourne.
Right.
And then sort of like in 1967 when the Monkees TV show was on, the Beatles were going weird on us. They were growing mustaches, and they were singing songs like I'm the Walrus. And it was like, these songs are coming from Mars. I'm being honest.
Right. No, I know what you mean. But those are my favorite eras when they went a little bit psychedelic. Although listening to the first album is still awfully nostalgic for me.
Is Revolver one of your big albums that you like listening to?
Yeah,
Taxman?
I love Revolver and I love Abbey Road, and definitely I know Let It Be is a controversial album, but I love that rooftop concert and every song they played up there.
Do you know I interview a lot of Beatle people? You got no idea who I've interviewed. Peter Asher.
Oh yeah.
I've done it. I interviewed people. No matter who I interview, doesn't matter where they start off with. If I talk to my sister, she's ABBA. She grew up with ABBA, but she still ends up with the Beatles.
Right.
Then you got people Kiss, born in the 70s. They're Kiss, but they still end up at the Beatles. Right. Everybody ends up at the Beatles.
It's true. They were probably the most influential band of all time. Probably. I don't think anyone would that.
I also interviewed John Lennon's sister, Julia Bard.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And Paul McCartney's stepmother, Angie. So I'm doing all right.
All right. Nice. You're in the Beatle periphery.
Well, I just interviewed the guy that has actually been maintaining Mendips, John Lennon's home, for 17 years.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
I got 165 interviews I've done in 3.5 months. So when you got nothing to do, you can just go there and choose what you want to do.
All right. Nice.
I just want to say, Peter, it's been fantastic talking to you from Melbourne.
To you too.
They're out there in Los Angeles, must be near Hollywood. So crazy down there.
Yes, it is. But right now it's pretty boring.
There, I'm sure your home is waiting for you here in Melbourne, Australia. Yep. You're gonna love it.
I've been looking in Brisbane, so.
Well, I'll be moving to Melbourne.
All right.
There's different places, and there's sort of places that are too laid back, and there's sort of places where you want to come and see what's actually happening here. But Melbourne's got a lot of potential. Sydney's like crazy. So, I mean, if you like the warmer weather, up in Brisbane's all right. But, you're missing the action down here in Melbourne.
How far is Melbourne from Brisbane?
Well, you're talking two sides of the country.
It is, yes. My son knows better about that than I do. I don't.
Tasmania is very good too.
Oh, yeah.
Tasmania,
I have a friend from there.
Isolation, the best air, the best rivers.
But it's colder there too, right?
Where you want to go. But you want to go live near a winery. I'm picturing that you live like in the Yarra Valley, just outside of Melbourne on the fringe here. You've got beautiful places to go to. You're watching the mountains. You're between the city and the mountain. You got a lifestyle.
All right. I'll look into that as well. My son, I have two sons, John and Nico, and John is the oldest one, and he knows everywhere in both Australia, New Zealand, everywhere. He loves to learn about different places and travel. And we were supposed to go there this summer, but that didn't work out.
As I said, Peter, don't worry. We're meeting up in Melbourne. Just text me and we'll meet up, and I'll fit in on what you don't know about Melbourne.
All right. Sounds great.
Now, Peter, thanks again. And I want you to continue working on these series. It sounds like great fun. So you can take us out from Plastic EP
and Peter Chakos.
It's been a gas, Peter. Thanks, man.
Fun with you too. All right. Take care. I loved it too. Have a good rest of your week.